You know what this waterlog means? And yesterday morning I told you we were going to be dry. That's what they had told me the night before. And then at breakfast everybody discovered that it was another week of rain until Tuesday. And that feels like Ireland, you know. They say it's going to be clear and then it opens up again, opens up the floodgates. But we are happy as long as it doesn't flood, and our challenge before Christmas helped us to remember all the people who suffer from severe flooding, sometimes taken by a big surprise. So there has been significant rise here in the water. That is quite a blessing. Let's go over and check it out over here as well. So today we have a very special day. It's 40 days since Christmas. And you know, those numbers are biblical numbers, and Jesus' disciples also paid attention to numbers like this. They became markers, counters, because time passes, and appreciating time. And there's also a biblical root. When the mother would go to be purified. But the big meaning of today's feast is the temple in Jerusalem and Jesus going to the temple. The presentation in the temple, presentation of Jesus in the temple. It lends itself to many thoughts, many thoughts. Here we have some catfish dancing around. Wow, that's a big one right there on the surface. Half his body was over the water for a moment there. Oh, there he is this side now. To learn how to capture them. Capture the picture, I mean. I hear other ones over here behind me. This guy came in now down there to the rocks. So the temple is dedicated to the Almighty, and the Word becomes flesh and dwelt among us, and he goes into the temple. So does the temple make him great because he goes there, or does he make the temple great? And does anybody notice when the one to whom the temple belongs comes in? It's amazing, isn't it? And then the contrast with the Malachi prophecy coming as refining, and our first thoughts and imaginations would probably track that as a major, powerful event, maybe more in line with the day he took the whip in his hands and overturned some tables. That was a very exceptional impression we have of Jesus, because his basic procedure and program was, learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart. So he wasn't coming as that powerful Lord imposing order by force. but hearts become exposed in front of his humility. Both those who aren't able to see, oh wow, this fell down. This used to always be standing this sign, right? So now it's gone. It's down. Which I'm not too sad about because I didn't like it. It was always blocking the view of the sun for me. And it was kind of artificial there. Maybe those responsible will put it in the right place. So it's really amazing how humbly he comes in. How humbly he comes into the temple, unnoticed. Who noticed? Simeon and Anna. And they represent the people who are waiting in expectation, the humble people, the prayerful people, the devoted and dedicated people. But all the powers, all the authorities, nobody noticed. Isn't that amazing? Sometimes when people enter a room, everybody notices. Some draw attention to themselves, others just by the dignity and bearing, or by the amount of bodyguards surrounding them, or whatever. And this guy has a bodyguard who was a carpenter in Nazareth, and probably a teenage mother. You know, that's his bodyguard. And then how helpless that little baby is, you know, how the mighty Lord, the creator of all, the stars and the sun and the mountains, and this isn't even a mountain, this is just a little hill, Mount Arbel. You know, it really changes all our parameters for judging and evaluating and seeing importance. How do we measure importance? Like, what makes you happy when you want to have a sense of importance? Oh, there's a sign that's standing. What measures importance for you? You know, wealth, Bill Gates, power, Putin, Biden, armies, technology, economic, muscle, critical mass. And here we have infinitely small. They just give 2 doves, the poorest offering. That's their standard. That's where they fit in. That's their standard, you know. Some have 30 horsepower vehicles and 100 horsepower and 500 horsepower trucks, and some have just taxi 11, their 2 legs. It's really amazing, and really that's probably the medicine we need, because part of our biggest issue is the way we turn our attention and our will to acquire, to possess, to dominate, to impress. Amazing rethinking about life, about what's important, what works, what is valid. And this contemplation has led to a lot of people choosing that life of low profile, that life of being out, just simply present, the presentation in the temple, being present, being there for somebody, smiling, praying for somebody. The presence of a person, even flat on their bed, even if it's their deathbed, and they're praying quietly. They just got a very bad diagnosis for their health. Surgery doesn't look too promising. Chemotherapy is going to have too many negative consequences, also life-threatening. And they're praying, but they're present. They're present for their children, for their grandchildren, for their neighbors, for the whole world, for politics. They're praying for an ending of the war in the Ukraine, for an ending of every war. They're praying for justice, for the downtrodden, for the migrant. Who knows who are pulling the biggest levers? And do we need to pull the biggest levers? Do we need to find our spot that Providence has placed for us? Because if we do our spot, we're fulfilling the plan of divine providence. And maybe that's the refining and purifying silver. He will purify the sons of Levi that we have in this prophecy of Malachi. The purifying doesn't happen with boisterous, loud, dramatic rituals and procedures. It happens in the humility of the heart. It happens from the inside through grace. Nobody notices, and the person has changed their attitude. They overcame the addiction. They became meek and got control of their temper. They turned from hardness of heart to reconcile. They're changed. And it didn't happen because somebody held a gun to their head or mocked them publicly or shouted them down. No, it happened inside the depths of the heart. They were purified like the fuller's lie. I wonder if anybody knows what that means, the fuller's lie. And that's a chemical process, isn't it, for purifying things? It's like an acid. Refining them like gold or silver in the fire. And the fire of humility, the fire of love, the fire of self-detachment, of renouncing self-importance, of the fire of waiting beside somebody who is sick and dying, just being with them, the presence. People, a lot to chew on there. Who is this King of glory? It is the Lord. Lift up your gates, you lintels, Psalm 24. Reach up, you ancient portals, for the King of glory comes in, and nobody noticed. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing, amazing. People, God bless you. God bless you. See you later, alligators. That simple act of personal presence in people's lives, a phone call, little message, how are you? Presentation to the temple, who is each person, because God is present there.